What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some battles in the Psychic Cup running Galarian Articuno. Now this is a Pokemon that's received absolutely zero attention so far. It wasn't mentioned in any of the best Pokemon for the Psychic Cup or best teams for the Psychic Cup videos. I haven't seen anyone using it on Twitter, I've not seen any opponents using it, I've not seen any videos here on YouTube yet. This Pokemon is just non-existent in the meta. But I'm here to tell you that this Pokemon is absolutely insane, and if you do have access to one, then you should definitely run it. But that is the biggest issue for this Pokemon, is the accessibility. So far it's only been available from the Daily Adventure Incense, and even then it's a very rare spawn and a ridiculously low catch rate, meaning that even if you're lucky enough to encounter one, you're probably not going to catch it, which is really disappointing, but that's just how it is, unfortunately. Luckily for me, I was able to catch the very first Articuno I encountered. It was a very low CP, so it did have a much higher catch rate. Something that I've just noticed is this is actually a triple Galarian theme team. It wasn't intentional, I was just trying to avoid the top 5 ranked Pokemon on PvPoke, and this is just the team that I ended up coming up with. I've got the Galarian Rapidash as the safe swap, we've got the Galarian Slowking as the hard answer to those charmed Gardevoirs, and we've got the Galarian Articuno in the lead. And actually the Articuno, whilst it's in the lead, it actually acts as the closer in a lot of battles as well. Just because of that nuke potential from the Brave Bird, we do like to save it and keep it for later. So with that being said, let's get into the question of the day. So I know a lot of people don't like these monotype cups because they form very condensed metas, and you typically only see like the top 5 Pokemon on every team or variations of that. But if we were to see another monotype cup from Niantic, which typing do you think would have the best meta, as there would just be a bigger variety of Pokemon that would be playable? Let me know in the comment section below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle here, we lead into a Galarian Rapidash. So I'm actually just going to swap straight away into my own Rapidash. They go straight for the Body Slam here. We can easily tank this, but my opponent then switches into a Bronzong. Now typically this is actually a matchup where we can get some sort of advantage, but because they did the chip damage with the Body Slam, unfortunately they also shield there, so we're not going to be able to take switch advantage. But we get both shields from this Bronzong, and it was a CMP tie. They could have easily farmed me down, but they chose not to, and that is going to cost them, because now we're in a brilliant position here. We are up a shield, and we've still got our Galarian Articuno, and it has avoided the Bronzong, which is definitely the hardest answer to the Articuno here. So we go for a Shadow Ball, we take out the Bronzong, they come in with a Malamar. This is a good matchup for the Malamar, but not down a shield. They come in with the Rapidash. This is just another Body Slam. I can tank that comfortably. I'm farming up more energy, going for the Brave Bird. Is this going to be enough to take out the Rapidash? Yes it is, we take him out, and at this point I've still got my shield here. Unfortunately the Psycho Cuts are only going to be doing 1 damage as they're triple resisted, but we get to another Brave Bird here. Is this going to take them out? Yes it is, and we're able to take that game. And Galarian Articuno, what an insane closer there. Into next game, unfortunately we lead into an Alolan Raichu, a massive problem for this team, but they counter my swap with the Bronzong, and like I mentioned, this is a matchup where we can get an advantage here. We go straight for the Mega Horn. It does a ton of damage. We will have to shield once, but we should be able to farm up a ton of energy here, go for the Body Slam, and if they do shield this up, we can then go for another Body Slam. But my opponent decides to let it go through, and they come in with their own Galarian Rapidash. We're going for the Body Slam here, and if they don't throw straight away, we're going to be able to get to a Mega Horn in this matchup, and this will do a ton of damage to the Rapidash. They no-shield it, and it nearly takes them out. We force them to throw their energy. Body Slam takes us out. I'm going to come in with my own Articuno, and I'm just going to let this go through. It is just another Body Slam. We do tank it. We Psycho Cut, farm them down. I swap into my Galarian Slowbro here, and I have to call a bait or not. I call the bait. Is it a Thunder Punch? No. Wild Charge takes us out, and now I only have 1 win condition. We need to get the boost here on the Ancient Power, and we do, and the boost allows us to survive the Volt Switch damage, and we're able to get to another Ancient Power, and we take out the Alolan Raichu to take that game. So definitely very fortunate to win that battle, but That's just how it goes sometimes. Into the next game, we lead into a Shadow Gardevoir. Now, once I played this matchup a few times, I did work out that it's probably best that I just stay in that matchup. But I do get a shield advantage here because my opponent stays in with the Gardevoir and eventually switches into the Bronzong here, and we do land a Mega Horn, which does a ton of damage. I'm coming in with the Articuno here, and I'm actually going to farm up a ton of energy. We shield the first move coming from the Bronzong, and I'm actually committed to double shielding here, farming up even more energy, and eventually I will switch into my slow bro because unfortunately, or the slow king, sorry, because unfortunately I'm not able to Psycho Cut farm them down. They get to another move, it's just a heavy slam. We go for the Shadow Ball up against this Gardevoir. This gets the shield from the Gardevoir, and now we're in a prime position to sweep here. We go straight for the Brave Bird. Brave Bird easily going to be taking out the Gardevoir. They have a Victini in the back, and we can go for a Brave Bird on the CMP tile with the V-Create. And we take out the Victini as well, and we're able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game here, we lead into a Victini this time, and now this is a matchup where really you want to let them throw their energy first, because as soon as they do that, they are going to be debuffing their defense. But unfortunately, this is a CMP tie. We both farmed up to the back-to-back charge moves, but luckily they do shield the first move. The Ancient Power wouldn't KO typically, but after they debuff their defense, it will KO from this range. And now we get the second shield. My opponent tries to make a catch, but they switch too soon. I switch into my Rapidash here. I'm going for a Mega Horn up against this Bronzong. And because they've got no shields remaining, that does a ton of damage. I'm going to shield up this charge move here, and I'm going to farm up a ton of energy. They actually go for payback, so potentially they're not even running Heavy Slam, which means we're in a really good position. We overfarm a ton here, go for the Body Slam. It doesn't KO. I now have a Mega Horn to throw into this Victini. It nearly takes him out, and my opponent does throw straight away. Now we're in a really good position here. I'm just going to come in with the Galarian Slowking. They have a Malamar, so I'm just going to force them to throw their energy straight away. This is perfect because now I can come in with the Articuno. I have a ton of energy loaded. I go for the Brave Bird. Is this enough to take out the Malamar? Yes, it is, and we're able to take him out there. And I get to an Ancient Power up against the Victini, and that takes out the Victini, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we lead into a Claydol. Now this is a very good lead for us. Of course, they do have Shadow Ball or potentially a Rock Tomb that will do super effective damage, but we're double resisting the Mud Slaps here, so we're in a really comfortable position. I will go for a CMP tie here. My opponent holds on to that energy, which is a mistake because I now get a shield from them where I shouldn't have, and now I can shield this up. I don't think I will be able to Psycho Cut farm them down, so I build up a ton of energy, switch into the Rapidash, and they don't get to another charge move, which is perfect. They come in with the Bronzong now, and like I've said a few times in this video already, this is actually a very good matchup for the Rapidash here. We go for the Mega Horn, we go for a second one, and it looks like that's a CMP tie with this Bronzong. And it is, which is perfect. They let it go through because they have no shields remaining. And we come in with the Slow King here. We're going to be able to shield this up and then completely farm them down with the Hex here. They go for another payback, and they're definitely not running any other charge move, I don't think. We go straight for the Shadow Ball here, up against the Victini. It lands, and then we go for the Articuno and the Ancient Power. Ancient Power takes out the Victini, and we're able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we lead into a Malamar, so a tricky lead here, but we're going to switch into the Rapidash. Unfortunately, we're met with one of the hardest counters here in the form of Metagross. We go for the Mega Horn, but it's shielded, and now we're only able to get to a Body Slam, and they, if they're counting, won't shield this, and we're in a tricky situation here. Excuse me. Because the Meteor Mash, or if they go for an Earthquake, is going to do a ton of damage, so we kind of have to shield this up. They go for another charge move. It's too soon to be an Earthquake. We will just barely tank the Meteor Mash here. I'm going to farm up to the Shadow Ball, switch into the Articuno, try and get a massive energy advantage going into whatever they have in the back. We're going to shield up this Meteor Mash. We're going to overfarm a ton and go for an Ancient Power. Once we get to 99 energy, we undercharge it, but it still takes out the Metagross. We're going for a bait here, very risky, no real need to. And my opponent lets it go through, so that's a massive mistake there. I should have just gone for the Brave Bird. I wasn't going to get to another move. Actually, I just accidentally locked my phone screen there. I come in with the Slowking. I'm just going to go for the Sludge Wave. We take out the Malamar. I wanted to see what was in the back, and it's a Bronzong, so actually we probably wouldn't have been able to win that game anyway. So it didn't really matter if I went for the Brave Bird or not. Into the next game, we lead into another Victini here, and they go for the charge move straight away, which is great because it means my Ancient Powers are going to be threatening, but they switch into the Galarian Rapidash. We go for the Brave Bird, we take them out straight away, so that is one of the briefest appearances you've ever seen in Go Battle League. We go for an Ancient Power now up against this Victini, and we do get a shield. They've seen the massive damage from Brave Bird, and they're now very much frightened of it. We get to another Ancient Power, I get both shields, so I come in with the Slowking here. I'm just going to let this move go through. V-Create does huge damage, and I'm also forcing them to throw again, but I'm fine. Galarian Rapidash is also a very strong closer, and you're going to see how good it is here when we do have that one shield advantage. They come in with the Shadow Gardevoir, doesn't matter, we're able to get to a Mega Horn. This is neutral up against the Gardevoir, but it still takes them out, and at this point we're going to be able to get to a charge move here. They actually throw before we get to the charge move, meaning that they're still going to lower their defense, but we go for the Mega Horn anyway. It's neutral. Mega Horn easily going to be enough to take out the Victini, and we take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Into the next game, we lead Articuno into another Alolan Raichu. Now, once again, very tricky lead. We switch into the Rapidash. Rapidash is a very strong save swap, but my opponent decides to stay in here, which is actually kind of good, but also kind of bad because they will definitely be able to get shields from us. We go for the Body Slam here before they even throw a move, and they actually double shield in this matchup, so I'm very happy with Rapidash's performance here. I'm just going to let it go through. They come in, or I come in with the Slowking, and they go for another Wild Charge, and they do now switch into the Malamar. Unfortunately, my switch clock still isn't up yet, so I do have to tank this foul play. I'm now going to switch into the Articuno here, and I will shield up this foul play and then go for a Brave Bird just before they reach the next foul play. We farm up a ton here, go for the Brave Bird, we take out the Malamar, but they have a Bronzong in the back, and unfortunately this is a very bad spot for us to be in because we have debuffed our defense. Brave Bird still does about 50% to the Bronzong, but we just can't win this. We do have a Shadow Ball loaded, but we have to throw it here, meaning the Raichu can easily Volt Switch, farm me down, and they're able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there, very well played. Into the next game, like I was saying earlier, against Gardevoir, it's probably best that we just stay in with the Galarian Articuno, get an early shield advantage, and we should be good, because now I can come in with the Slowking here. My opponent is forced to switch out of that matchup. I can now come in with the Rapidash. I don't even need to shield here, because the thing is, Galarian Slowking is actually a very good closer once you get rid of the Malamar, because that's pretty much the only thing that's going to be resisting or taking neutral from the Shadow Ball. So we take out the Malamar here. We're even able to get to a Body Slam up against the Gardevoir, and at this point I can just safely Hex farm down this Gardevoir and probably throw Shadow Balls into whatever's in the back. My opponent is going to switch out here. They have a Victini. Shadow Ball's going to do huge damage here up against the Victini. They do get to a V-Create, but I can safely shield this, and I will even have a Sludge Wave to throw into the Gardevoir. Pretty unnecessary, but we take out the Gardevoir and we take that game. So into the next game, we lead into another Malamar lead. So we are going to switch into the Rapidash, and we're met with a Victini. How I like to play this matchup is go up to 99 energy, hope that they throw before I do, but they don't in this case. So I do go for the Body Slam, but at this point, I'm happy to let them throw now, because this point, they lower their defense, meaning one more Body Slam will easily take them out, and we can get a shield back, and I'm actually going to double shield in this matchup, and I should be able to retain switch advantage. advantage now. I'm going to go for a Body Slam here up against the Victini. This should get the final shield or take him out. We do get the final shield. And we get to another Body Slam, and this will take out the Victini. And we have regained switch advantage. Now I'm going to come in with the Slowking here, and we should be in a very good position, although they still do have that Malamar, so it's going to be quite tricky, especially when they catch a Shadow Ball, and unfortunately I don't think there's going to be an awful lot I can do now. Shadow Ball only does about 50% to the Malamar, and a Foul Play nearly takes out our Articuno. We will be able to get to a Brave Bird here, but there's just no way I'm going to be able to take out the Gardevoir, as it is very close to a charge move, and I won't be able to Hex farm them down. So they do get to the charge move here, and Gardevoir is able to Shadow Ball my Slowking and take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. Very well played and a very nice catch. And into the final battle of the video, we lead into a Claydol, a switch out into the Bronzong, and we do switch into the Rapidash here. We're going to shield this up, but we should be able to maintain switch advantage if we really want it. We go for the Mega Horn here up against the Bronzong. My opponent lets it go through. I farm up to the back-to-back Body Slams, and we should get a shield from this Bronzong, and we do. And I don't really know what happened there. I think that was like a CMP tie, but it was weird. We're going to farm up to the back-to-back Body Slams once again. If they shield this, we do have another one to throw, but they let it go through, and now I'm going to go straight for the Body Slam here up against this Galarian Slowking that my opponent is actually running here. I'm going for the Ancient Power bait up against the Slowking, and we do get the shield from my opponent, and I'm also able to get to another Ancient Power before they throw. Bit of a mistake by my opponent, over farming too much there, and that is a CMP tie, which is perfect. They go for the Shadow Ball, it takes me out. And now I'm going to come in with the Slowking. They do have that Claydol, remember. Shadow Ball coming in from this Slowking. Is this going to be enough to take them out? No, it's not enough, but I switch and I catch their charge move, and this is going to be a Shadow Ball, and that is going to win me the game, because now I can Hex, farm down the Claydol, get to a Shadow Ball up against my opponent's Galarian Slowking, and I'm able to take that game. So GG's to that opponent there. So that's going to be it for today's video. I had a ton of fun running the Galarian Articuno in the Psychic Cup, and I strongly recommend, if you have access to this Pokemon, that you build it and try it out, because it will be super fun, but it's also really, really strong. And if you want to make this team even stronger, then I'd probably get rid of the Galarian Slowking and replace it with a Victini. For me personally, I wanted to avoid the top 5 Pokemon ranked on PvPoke, but if you're just wanting to climb, then that probably is a stronger team to run. And with that being said, if you did enjoy the video, then make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know. As well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you're not yet subscribed and you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications, so that way you're notified whenever I upload a new video. And with that being said, let's get into the shoutouts from my previous video. So firstly, we've got Morley, who says they can't get over how absolutely awesome Tyrantrum looks, especially the shiny, and to be honest, who doesn't like a T-Rex? Next, we've got Chris JK, who says their first instinct was Tyranitar, but now that they thought about it, Rampardos looks epic, and I definitely agree. I really like how Rampardos looks. And finally, we've got Avintir, who says Archeops, and I think this is one of the most underrated Pokemon, and it's a Pokemon that I really want to try out, and I might try a Archeops and Archon theme team in the future sometime, as they both learn Quick Attack, which did receive a buff. But with that being said, thank you to everyone for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.